everybody to the Animal Reader. The Animal Reader is an animal news website. Since the earthquakes in Syria and Turkey, we've been reporting on what happens to animals there. And social worker Mohit Raj is in the area. Welcome, Mohit. Can you tell us in which area exactly you're in now?
So this region is called Hatay, and Hatay is basically on the border of Turkey and Syria. And Hatay and Gaziantep are the two major regions which got hit by the earthquake. And it got so destructed that nothing is, all the buildings are down. If some buildings are not down, they are cracked so badly that they are collapsing with aftershocks and etc. It's been almost now 10 days. So there are very less possibility that the people who are coming out will be alive, but there are still finding people. Unbelievable amount of loss and unbelievable amount of pain which you are seeing here. It's more, if you see, it's a surreal way how everything looks here.
And like you mentioned already, like people have left the area and to cities around it. But the area there were stray animals, maybe pets. Have you seen any animals in the area?
Yeah, so to be honest, not many, uh, especially in these cities where there's so much of rubble and so much of still dust going on, and all the water places are contaminated with so much of dust that it's not drinkable. There are a lot of water pipeline which are burst, and so you don't see many animals. But what I started when I started asking about what is happening to animals, that lot of them are still under rubbles, and lot of them have died, lot of them were got injured, some of them were taken to, there was an animal hospital which you also mentioned, but still there are so many who are just wandering around, do not have enough food, do not have enough water. And I also met two cats, but I think these animals are so shaken from inside that they just don't know what is going on, what just happened. It's unbelievable how, so even both the cats who I tried to give them food were so scared, and so they just don't know what is going on.
Yeah, there's an animal welfare organization in Syria, Ernesto's Cat Sanctuary, if I said
Hmm.
it correctly. And they, in one of their videos, they also posted that even though they saw animals, they went rescuing after 3 or 4 days. They were allowed to enter certain areas, and that animals were so scared they didn't even want to eat.
Yeah. We try to feed two cats, one dog, few sheep, etc. It's the same, the behavior. I try to get a dog next to me and try to hug or something, but I think they are just like, they're scared from the core. It's like very shaken away, and they just so much of trauma. I think so much of human loss has also happened around them that it's just like it's very difficult to put what emotions they are going through. So yeah.
Yeah, that's something I think we don't. It's interesting that you say that. It's something that you don't really think about. Even if they survived it, yeah, unlike humans, they can't talk about it, but they also, if they're by themselves, they have to somehow deal with this by themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And it's very evident in their behavior. The animals who are left, they are they're not eating, they're not coming close to people. It's very evident that what are they feeling, we don't know. What I understood is that there are definitely some people who are, if they see, they are trying to actually help animals. There are a lot of camps, and what I'm assuming, I I when I saw both the cats, and these two cats were at very different places. When I saw them, they were actually not very far from the camp. So what I'm assuming is because of food, etc., they must be going closer to. And I sent you a picture of a food, an animal food shop as well. It was completely destroyed, and I tried to go inside it, but it was completely destroyed. So if I can find some food which is left there, first of all, it's extremely unsafe to go in these buildings because they're collapsing every few days because of the aftershocks. Second, there was no food there. So even to get them some food specifically, it is very difficult. Yeah, the region is so big that you can't be in one place and put food so animals will come, because they are so scattered, very scattered.
And the video of the sheep, those sheep were owned by somebody.
So they were owned, but this guy brought all the way from where the cities to another part. So they have traveled a far away part where there is no dust. When I talked to him, he was like, "Hey, there's no." What happened was that the area where we used to feed them the grass, etc. They it all got so dusty that it became like very like it was not edible. So he needs to bring them far away where it was not dusty because of the rubble, etc.
Okay, so he was not hit by the earthquake, but he was feeding his sheep in an area which has a lot of dust now.
His house was separately like a far place. The sheep were living more in the open area. The sheep were more living in the open area, so they all were saved.
It's very cold there. How do you think these animals, from what you've seen, how do they survive in the cold?
There are multiple pieces here. One is, how will they survive with cold? How will they survive with not having food? And how will they survive with the water situation? How will they survive in these ghost towns by themselves? So there are so many things which we need to think. And what is happening is a lot of focus. If you see of look, it's not a lot of focus. It's just like that's a natural reaction. If you see an animal, you want to feed them or something. But what is the bigger rehabilitation plan of these animals is a question which are left. So it's not just food, and also if they're left, as you said, with the weather, it's so cold, with no shelter, especially having around the. So when I saw that cat, mm, when I wanted to go and go closer to it, but that cat was on the ground floor of a building, which I said was like a pancake building, which could have fallen any time. So my colleagues were like, "Hey, we should. It's very risky to go down there." So I tried to call the cat out, but the cat was not coming. So if that building will collapse, what will happen to that cat? And lot of these buildings, uh, the government is going to collapse them very soon, because that what they're gonna do with these buildings? They have to rebuild things. So how much you have scope to at that time to take care of these animals is a question. So I really feel the bigger question of rehabilitation of animals is missing, and what we can do around it. It's something which we should think of.
Yeah, it's a really yeah, extremely good point you give. Like, people instantly say food and water, but rehabilitation, I can't even, just like I can't imagine it for humans, I can't even imagine it for animals that have survived this and that are left in these ghost towns, where within a few hours the whole reality was different.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and I really hope. I really hope. I'm sure that the people who are on the ground are sensitive enough that at one point they will just realize it and they will just like start working on it. That's the hope I always see when the natural disaster happens. One of the person gets an idea, and boom, it then they make it like institutionally they make it that, hey, let's make